Welcome to the next video where we will talk about the Whova app. Now that we've got registered, connected to the application, let's take a look at the configuration of the app, as well as just do a general overview of the application. So first and foremost, in the top left-hand corner of the app, if we open that up, you'll notice that this will allow us a number of different things. Edit my profile, I will start with. Here we can edit our name. So for instance, if I wanted to remove my middle initial, we could certainly do that. We can add interests, an affiliation. Again, for Mile High Jeep Club members, we would love to see that be MHJC so that it is consistent and everyone knows how to reach Mile High Jeep Club members. Education, if you so choose, your location, small bio. You could put social account links. So if you wanted to link to your Facebook profile, things like that, a personal web page, other web presence, you're certainly more than welcome to do that. You can also change your picture here by selecting the camera icon, and you can see there that you can either import it from your social accounts in the event that you have them linked, which we'll talk about in a minute, take a new photo, or choose from a library. Let's go back, and again, top left, notice that we've got some other things here. The My Contact Information and QR code is a way for you to quickly share information with other attendees. And we'll talk more about the QR code in a video where we describe what the check-in process will look like at All for Fun this year. But the other thing that I want to click on is click on settings here. A couple of really important settings in this section. Notification settings. If we look in here, this determines where you get, or how you get notifications rather, for which sections of the application. Really important to kind of understand this. For me in particular, I will probably have all of them turned on for obvious reasons, but for you, you might not want to be inundated with things like when somebody asks the organizers a question, or when somebody posts a community update. But you very well might want to make sure that you are receiving notifications for agenda updates as well as organizer announcements. Totally up to you, but the reality is I anticipate that the application will be fairly chattery across the entire platform during the event. And leading up to the event. And so it might be important for you to kind of come in here and play with these settings, determine what you want to see, what you don't want to see. The next part here is under the social accounts. So you can link this application to your LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter accounts. And in the event that you do that, it really makes it a much more social interaction. So people that you are on rides with will be able to see your profile. If you have linked, for instance, to your Facebook profile, they can then connect to you on Facebook as a result of that. And it's a really great way to carry the conversation beyond just All for Fun, right? So that you can make connections and maintain those connections even long after the event is come and gone. We also have this profile visibility, whether or not other attendees can see you. So you just need to kind of understand that. And then last part here that I would point out is the password. So you can change the password in the event that you want or need to do that. Obviously, you have to put in the current password in order to be able to do that. And then again, just like when we signed up, you would be asked to put in a new password and then re-enter that password in order to change it. From there, there is also some tips and tricks and things like that that you can get to from here as well. But I think that's really what I want to focus on the profile. So let's go back to the main app and let's look at a couple of different things here. First, we've got the information about the event, the location, the dates. Right here where it says Minton Park, this is actually a click to a map, and if we open that up, it will take us into Google Maps, and you'll notice here that we have pinpointed the exact spot of the event. The big tent will actually be set up inside of that baseball field diamond. You can actually do directions to here, so from wherever you're at, if you're commuting from Tampa, like some folks are, it'll literally, you can get turn-by-turn directions right to the campsite from the app here. Let's go ahead and go back. As we continue down in this additional resources section, there's this leaderboard, which is, the application is gamified like most things these days. So for certain activities that you do, participating in the community, giving feedback, liking posts, things like that, there are points associated with that. And so if you're interested in that, you can kind of keep up here. These are the current most active folks in the event. And if we go to your points, then you can kind of see where you're at. And as you can see here that I'm 0% complete. I've earned not a 0 point with this demo account that we're showing here today. Photos, so you have the ability to upload photos. You can see all the photos that everybody has uploaded. This is a really interesting, unique way. I don't know how many people have been out on a trail with somebody. Somebody happened to be out and walking a lot of the trail, taking a lot of pictures, but inevitably I never seem to get a copy of those. If that person's nice enough to post them, you could then get them here. You could kind of come in, look for those photos. From here, you could like the photos, you can add comments, you can share those photos, so on and so forth. So, and I also do believe, so there you go. You could also save that photo to your local either tablet or phone that you're using. So a great way to kind of share about the event. We have a trail map section here. This actually currently leads to the trailsoffroad.com website, which is where we collect all of the information about the trails that we are going to offer during the event. And so you can kind of come in here, research not only those trails, but others as well. Comment about that site is it does work on kind of a freemium approach. So there's certain things that you can get to for free. Then there are additional features that you need to pay to get to. And that fee, I believe, as of this video, was like $25 per year. They do a phenomenal job. It is not just Colorado. I would highly encourage you to go ahead and join that if you're interested in the additional information that you can gather from it. We have event maps, and so if we take a look at that right now, and this will get built out with more as we get closer to the event, but for right now we just have our trip staging areas. And so if we click on view the map, you'll see here if I zoom out, this is that same area, right? There's the baseball field, and we are going to do 6 lanes this year for trip staging. Those will be annotated with a sign at the front of it, a sign at the back of it, and they will be bright and color coded. So if you need to be in the yellow lane, as a for instance, it should be relatively easy to spot that and then hop in the lane that you need to. So we'll go back, again, back to the home. We have an exhibitor section. So all of the people that are going to come out for vendor day will ultimately end up inside of this app. We can search for them. We'll be able to find their booth number and have a map for under the big top where you can find them. I'm just going to go ahead and select best top here. You'll see that you can put in a bunch of information about how to reach out to that vendor, some company information about that vendor, a link to their web page. There's a whole ton of information in here. Here you'll see the people that have liked this vendor. You can actually make comments to the vendor and they would be shown here as well. So really making, again, the interaction between our guests and the vendors just all that much more social and connected. We'll go ahead and go back here. Trip leaders. So I have people ask me every year, like, oh, hey, who was that was on our trip today? Or I went with a guy last year or a gal last year and they did a great job. Can you help me remember who that was? We're hoping that this will really make this, again, a lot more interactive. So for instance, you could come in here and search. Here I am. If you pull up my profile, you will get a lot of information about the speaker or trail leader. In this case, you can see that I am speaking at, meaning that I am leading this particular trip on this particular day. I can add a bio in here, which hopefully all of the trip leaders will have by the time we get to the event. You can exchange contact information with me. Here you can see that I've got my Facebook profile linked. So if you wanted to reach out and connect with me on Facebook, that option will be there as well. So again, recurring theme, just allowing us to be a little more interactive with our guests and hopefully enhance that experience. Last but not least, there's other two sections here in the additional resources, which is the Whova tips, which will give you some tips and tricks on kind of how to manage and use the application, as well as Twitter. That will actually take you to basically live feeds of the pre-built event hashtags. So if you're out and about on the trail consuming or using those hashtags rather, you can come in here and look at that and see kind of the other people that are posting using those hashtags. We do have an event description here. Again, very brief at the moment, but a brief description about the event. Sponsors, obviously very important to the event. Without them, we couldn't do the event. And this is just a sample right now, but we will be cycling through our sponsors for the event as we near that event, and you can click on any of these and it will take you directly to a landing page that they set up. In some cases, that might be their main public web page. In other cases, it might be an event-specific page if they're offering some sort of special for the event or something like that. Let's move to the bottom row here. Across the bottom, you'll see home, agenda, attendees, community, and messages. We will start on the far right. So messages are specific to you. So these are things that somebody sent directly to you that they wanted to interact with you in particular. It could be that it is something that was sent from the organizers to you as well. But this is really, one of those sections that we would hope that you would monitor, because we may send reminders about particular events, activities that are going on throughout the event. You can also interact with the people that you meet on the trail leaders through this messaging as well. You simply click the top right here. You can go find contacts, select them and message them and get a conversation going back and forth. The community is more of a bulletin board, if you're old enough to remember those, and or more like a Facebook. And so here we have an Ask Organizers Anything. And as you can see here, we've got a lot of conversation that's been occurring in that. This is just kind of internal to the club as we lead up to the event. But there's a number of different topics in here. There will be things in here that are specific for people that are brand new for All for Fun. Give you an opportunity to give us feedback. What's going well, what's not going well? What do you like? What do you not so much like? Things like that. So there will be lots of interaction within this community board. This may be one of those that maybe you don't necessarily want to see the 195 updates that are coming into that community board, but just kind of depends on yourself. If you're like me and a little OCD and have to make that red marker go away, it might get a little challenging. Attendees, all of the attendees that agree to be shared within the community will be shown here. And again, just like what we saw with the trip leaders, they're listed in here. This would also be the case for our vendors and sponsors. So, again, we hope that not only do you come and enjoy the event and have a wonderful time, but that you make some lifelong friends along the way. And we're hoping that this application will help through that process. Last but not least is the agenda section here, and I'm going to do an entire video on how to sign up for trips, but rest assured that not only will the trips be in this agenda, but as we get closer to the event, we will also see other information be in here. So for instance, if we go to Saturday, you can see that we have check-in that is listed here. But we'll also have, the ice cream social in there and the car show and all of the things that we're going to do, all of the activities that will be under the big top or otherwise will all be articulated in this app. And generally speaking, those broad community events like check-in, like the ice cream social, like the pancake breakfast, those will actually be auto-magically, one of my favorite terms, added to your particular agenda. What we're looking at right now is the full agenda. Across the top, you'll notice that if I click on my agenda, these are the things that are specifically in my particular calendar. So if you'll notice here on Tuesday, I sign up for a particular trip. So that's in my calendar. But if I look at the full agenda, you can see that there's much more going on in that one particular day. So without further ado, I think we'll wrap up this particular video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope that it helps you to navigate the Whova app and to improve your experience at this year's Mile High Jeep Club's All for Fun. Thanks for watching.